Too Faced. Let's talk about him. Too Faced by name and by nature. Let me just start off by saying that. This brand just kept getting worse and worse and worse the more I looked into them and the more I looked into their past, especially on social media. Today we are taking a look at the brand Too Faced and their owners, who have somewhat of a unique way of dealing with things, and by unique I mean unstable in my opinion, and why they perhaps fell off in terms of popularity, why they're so shit now. Before I get into it, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up right now while you're here. You might as well, and it really helps me and it helps the algorithm. Also follow me here on TikTok, where I post makeup and beauty content exclusive to TikTok and sometimes Instagram. Okay, let's just get into it. I'm gonna be using a lot of products from Yes Style. They gave me a bit of a budget and just were like, go shopping. So I was like, yeah. I'll have it all linked down below for you in the description box, and I'll just like flash it up on screen, but I won't talk about it, just so you can see what I'm using at the time, because it's really cute. Okay, Too Faced. Let's talk about him. Too Faced by name and by nature. Let me just start off by saying that. So it was founded in 1998 by Jarrod, Blandino, and Jeremy Johnson. So it's said, and I have a few issues with this. So it said that Jarrod was working in makeup, on makeup counters, and he was like, oh, these brands are boring, like something's missing, I need, you know, more from these companies, you know, more excitement, like makeup isn't exciting anymore. And apparently, you know, in an effort to make things more exciting for himself, he would mix up products from different counters or different products from his makeup counter he was working on and use them on the customers, use them on the clients. But it said that he would take products home from counter, right, like samples or little products, and mix them up, microwave them together or whatever, and like come up with his own concoctions, and then take these products back into work and use them on customers.
And so I fell into beauty on complete accident, and I just saw it as another form of art. And I discovered there was a way that I could help instill self-esteem into these women for 10 minutes and become their gay best friend. And it was in the late 90s, and I'd had some celebrity clients. I worked at Saks, and they would come in and be like, I'm going to the Emmys, I'm going to the MTV Awards, I want brown eyeshadow. And I was like, no, let's do something fun. So I would chop up a Chanel blush and mix it with a Lancome lipstick. And, you know, I just destroyed every tester creating these crazy things, and I got a reputation for it. And so you would come in, Bethany, you'd have to buy 8 things. I would take them home, melt them in my microwave, bring them back to you in a little Tupperware cup. You would pick it up the next day. And that's how I operated.
No, really?
Yes. Until security caught me and was like, you can't do that, you know? And so I thought, let's do something. Let's figure this out.
You were busting out.
I saw there was more potential for fun, for dreaming. And through it, we created the first glitter eyeshadow ever. There was no glitter eyeshadow. We created the first efficacious lip plumper, and we launched this little brand called Too Faced at Fred Segal and Nordstrom. And I would walk on my lunch hour from Saks to Nordstrom, sell Too Faced, and then go back to Saks. And we got a Vogue feature. And my executive threw the Vogue down on my counter at one point, said, what are you doing? And I was like, I think I have to quit. I don't know. I mean, it really happened in this organically creative, ambitious, wild way.
I have an issue with these stories. There's something about, right, when brands like, this is how we started, and this was the brand's owners you know, moment, this is what they did, and this is when they discovered. But I feel like these stories are super embellished, because here's my issues with these stories, right? One, your manager is just like, yeah, you know, use anything from anywhere, mix it all together, even though you're trying to sell products on counter. They're like, yeah, take anything you want that you've mixed up in your kitchen and bring it in and use it. And then, you know, use it on someone's face, which is meant to lead to a sale. What are you going to do? Say, yeah, take these products home and then mix them together in your microwave. Not going to happen. Especially at that time, people just wanted, you know, their makeup, and that's it. They weren't experimenting. The average consumer anyway. And also, you're mixing all these products together that haven't been mixed together before. What if your customer had a reaction? It just wouldn't be allowed. In my opinion, that's my thought process. Imagine you're on a counter and someone's like, yeah, use all of these, but actually, this is what I made at home in my kitchen. I mix it together in a microwave. Like, you'd be like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. So anyway, wanting to do something different in the industry, Jarrod and Chief Executive Officer Jeremy Johnson started Too Faced during the peak of the dark 90s grunge makeup era. And this was a super popular look at the time. It was different to what people were used to from makeup. If you think about makeup throughout time, it's either been really bright or non-existent, and then in comes like the dark 90s, you know? But because of that, these two men decided that the makeup industry wasn't feminine enough. So, who better than, you know, two guys to create something feminine in the 90s? Yeah. So they wanted to create a brand that didn't like play along with classic rigid makeup rules of the time, which completely contradicts their previous statement of makeup being too grungy and dark, because that wasn't playing with makeup rules. But yet they were saying that it needed more, the makeup industry needed more freedom and more expression, but yet they're like, oh, it's not feminine enough. It contradicts itself. So, you know, they started this brand, and there's also some claims in there that they are responsible for the first ever glitter eyeshadow. Now listen, I don't believe this. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's actually, I was meant to put this video out weeks and weeks and weeks ago, or record it weeks ago, but I just wanted to do more research. It's still pending. It's still pending. I don't believe they invented the first glitter eyeshadow. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. So in 1998, right, they launched their first group of products, and it had this glitter eyeshadow in. But in my mind, right, I love makeup history. I love a history of makeup. I love, you know, from the beginning of time to now. Considering cosmetic glitter was okay to use in the 1930s, glitter before was, it was like glass almost. It wasn't good to use. And there were face powders and things like that with shimmer in and glitter in. I just question in my mind that this was the first ever glitter eyeshadow. Even when you Google it, it's like, it's the first ever glitter eyeshadow. But then you can Google things like first ever glittery face powder. I don't know, I've never actually Googled that. But you know what I'm trying to say? I think people just put out facts that they think are facts. I do not believe that claim. And and you know what? I'll put out more information when I have it. And actually, from looking at the eyeshadow itself, it's actually not that glittery. I wouldn't describe it as glitter. It's more like a light shimmer that was available in face powders and things like that way before this brand existed. And like saying like it's a first ever glitter eyeshadow sounds impressive and stuff, but when you look at the actual product itself, and I actually was able to find their formula with glitters and shimmers in on QVC, an old video of QVC where Jarrod himself is on QVC like selling like bundles of her products, and their glitter eyeshadows aren't that impressive and they're not that glittery. And here's what I'm getting at. I know that formula has changed dramatically even over the past 5 years, but what I'm saying is their glittery eyeshadows just look like the normal shimmery eyeshadows that's already existed. I was going to put in the part of the QVC video here where they actually use their glittery eyeshadow, but the video quality is so terrible. I don't want people to have eye issues watching it, so I'll link it down below. If you go to the timestamp, it's around, start at 40 minutes, and go from there, and you can see the application is a purple shade, and it's one of their glittery eyeshadows. Also, the story of how it came around is another version of him. So here's what he says happened, right? Listen to this. So apparently he was in their labs, right, where they're making these products, testing them out, whatever they're doing, and apparently he was like running around the lab, like grabbing glitter and stuff and just putting it in the product and being like, oh, I want this. This is what we should do. And then they pressed it and it was like, boom. First ever glitter eyeshadow. For me, it's just one of those, our brand founder kind of stories did this, and they're so free-spirited, and this idea just came to them suddenly. That's not how labs work. You don't run around labs grabbing ingredients from shelves and throwing it in products and being like, how about this? You know, it's a controlled environment. You can't just be mixing shit with shit. But anyway, if I ever find anything, you know, against the claims that he invented the first glitter eyeshadow, I will pin a link to it in the comments section. So then you'll know. Wait, he said, hey, this is the quote. He was like, let's put this glitter in this eyeshadow because let's change the world. But you know what? Here we are. World peace. People are so dramatic. Just be like, you know, yeah, I really wanted to make a glitter eyeshadow, so we spent a few months talking about it and how we're going to make it, and then we got into the lab one day and we changed the world, you know? I know it's not dramatic and, you know, entertaining, but it's just, it's not douchey. But here's the deal as well. Like, so glitter was just sitting around these labs and no one ever thought to be like, oh, glitter in powder. They did. They were very successful as a company from the get-go, really. They did extremely well financially, and considering they just launched, they did kind of have like this whole kind of opposite to what Urban Decay were doing. Urban Decay was making makeup darker and grungy, which was perfect for the 90s, and they were trying to make things a little bit pinker and a little bit more feminine, you know, despite not having a female CEO or anything, or founder or anything like that. And he started to launch these products, right? There was their names were really tacky. They were launching these products called the Quickie Chronicles, which was like kind of a balm-esque. You remember the balm? They did all these paper looking packaging thing. Are they still around? I don't even know actually. Anyway. Yes, Quickie Chronicles was that kind of vibe. They were like these books that had a bit of everything: blush, eyeshadow, lipstick, in this book environment setting palette. Again, I've seen people say this is the first brand to ever do this. It's not. It's really, really not. You can literally find compacts from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s with a blush, a powder, a lipstick in. It's not the first. People need to stop. They did quite well with this, like, you know, sexy pinup kind of era that they were in, and they continue to do well. They launched loads of random shit, random with names like Touch Your Purse or something. I can't even remember the name now. Let's just get to where it really gets interesting. Their kind of social media influencer era, and you may be very familiar with this, but I do want to touch on it just very quickly in their scandal with Nikkie Tutorials and the way they treated Nikkie in general as a brand, and actually how they kind of got away with being terrible people first time round. So in 2016, you know, Nikkie Tutorials, beauty YouTuber, collaborated with Too Faced to make an eyeshadow palette. And I think it had 2 highlighters in as well.
Hey guys, so today is a very surreal and like really weird day to me because after a year of working on it, I am here to reveal my collaboration with Too Faced. So here it is, the Power of Makeup by Nikkie Tutorials in collaboration with Too Faced. This collection, the Power of Makeup collection, comes with an eyeshadow palette, a full-sized sketch marker eyeliner in black, a deluxe shadow insurance eyeshadow primer, a highly exclusive purple Better Than Sex mascara, and of course my collection wasn't complete without some glitter, and this is a beautiful deluxe glamour dust glitter in Glitterly. Take a look. So this right here is my Power of Makeup palette, and it comes with 9 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, a bronzer, and of course, a glow. And if you follow me on Snapchat, you know I have a very cute fur baby called Ivy. She's my little dog. This collection also is very, very limited edition, so if you want to get your hands on it, you better be quick on August 15th. And that's it, guys. That concludes my Power of Makeup collection in collaboration with Too Faced.
Everyone was excited. It was a nice match. Good brand, good YouTuber. It was a good match. People started to receive their palettes from Too Faced, and this includes influencers that were sent to in PR from people who are receiving them and being less than impressed, let's say, with the formula and texture they were receiving. It wasn't what they were used to from Too Faced, and it wasn't what it looked like in Nikkie's video talking about the release and talking about the collaboration.
So in today's video, I will be doing a first impressions and swatches on the new Too Faced, the Power of Makeup palette, and this is a collaboration with Nikkie Tutorials. She is a makeup artist and she does amazing makeup. Alright, so those were the swatches, and I can say I'm not too impressed. I noticed the ones that have the shimmer in it, they weren't as pigmented as the matte colors. The matte ones were so creamy. My favorite one is Makeup and Chill. Now, the bronzer is definitely not going to work for me. It is too light, as you can see, and when I swatched it, like you can barely see it on my arm. And the highlighter, there's no glow in the highlighter. Like, I think it is very ashy and is not pigmented.
So if you guys saw on my Instagram, you will know that I don't like this palette. I think Nikkie does some amazing eye looks. She's definitely a very talented artist. Champagne Truffle was actually an eyeshadow from the Chocolate Bar palette. It was one of their large highlight shades, but highlight for like eyeshadow. That was one of her favorites, so they changed this. So they reformulated it from an eyeshadow into a highlight. I will show you swatches later of the comparisons of these two. I will tell you I compared the ingredients and they are different. The color is different, the texture is different. The one in the Chocolate Bar palette is more pink toned. So here I'm gonna do a finger swatch and then I'm gonna do the brush swatch right below it. So this is starting in the top row here. You can see that these shimmer shadows take a lot of work. I find this one to be one of the worst. So I wanted to show you, if you go back over and try to build it up, how they'll work. So I packed on some more on my brush and I went back over these swatches. Silver took more than just more swatches. I had to go back in and actually like try to pat it on. The last row is the blue that I'm wearing. It doesn't swatch very well with the brush. Then the purple is very patchy. And then the black is more like a gray. It's terrible. It's patchy. It's just not a good shadow.
People were actually leaving 1-star reviews for this product and asking for refunds. And when other YouTubers began reviewing it, it kind of became clear that the palette Nikkie was given by Too Faced was actually very different to the one that they were, oh my eyes just went all funny, to the ones that they were handing out and actually selling to people. That video of Nikkie's was so heavily criticized that she had to turn off comments on the videos because people were saying, you're scamming us, we're being scammed. Nikkie did go on Twitter and explain her side also, saying, I signed my contract with Too Faced back then because I was naive and didn't know better. At the end of the day, I signed it, it's my own fault, but what I'll never forgive is that allegedly they changed the palette's quality behind my back. Thousands of negative reviews and I was clueless. I had to see all these negative reviews while the palette I had was outstanding. They're lying in their videos to get views. This is what I was told. I don't care about the money, but I had to fight for years to prove my authenticity and gain your trust again. And this is the thing as well, it wasn't Nikkie's fault. She is the one who had to deal with all the backlash from it. Too Faced kind of got off like with no issues and they just carried on selling things and being, you know, a brand that sold like food themed makeup or whatever. Okay, let's go on from that and connect it to this issue and talk about the sister. Oh my god, what an absolute horrible moron. Absolutely awful. I just want to say as well, these look like the ones that She Glam released recently, but it's not She Glam. Wouldn't personally buy from She Glam. This is from ZEESEA. There must have been like a special on this kind of packaging. So this sister, right, the sister of Jarrod, had been in the comment sections of their socials. She shouldn't have been allowed anywhere near the socials, to be honest with you. On like Too Faced related posts, right? Reviews, stuff like that. Just giving it all this. She would like say things like, never use our product again. If I ever see you holding our product, I'm gonna slap it out of your hands. Like really, really shitty, horrible things that as a brand owner, you should just rise above and be like, you know what? Not everyone is going to like our products, and that's, you know, why so many brands exist, because not everyone likes the same thing. But no, she was on there giving it Billy Big Balls, swearing at people. She's that friend where if you're in an argument, right, we're talking and she's behind me here like, yeah, fuck you, and everyone has to hold her back and it's like, you're not helping the situation, can you just shut up? You know what I mean? This is awful. This is where it gets really, really bad. So after Nikkie tutorials came out as transgender, this was on a Monday, right? Jarrod's sister, her name's Danny. Her name was Danny California on Instagram. And people knew she was a sister. They knew she worked for Too Faced. This is what she put as her profile was private. So all you could see was her bio, right? In her bio, she puts this: transgender, huh? That's not the only thing she's been lying about. Danny California, how about fuck you? How about go fuck yourself? Idiot. Embarrassing. Like, it's weird, embarrassing. She thinks she's tough saying all this stuff. She thinks she's like, oh, I'm sick. No, you're just really fucking stupid. Like, really stupid. You're making yourself look like a moron. You made yourself look like a moron. So she removed this, but people, of course, they caught it. They screenshot it, and Twitter accounts posted about all this kind of stuff. Rightly so. I'm glad they caught it. People noticed this. Fans even off the brand noticed this and actually called for a boycott of Too Faced, which I wish ended it all, because let me just say, they're not adding anything to the beauty space whatsoever. Literally, like, the next day, Jarrod Blandino released a statement on his Instagram stories, which was reshared by Too Faced, their social media accounts, where he condemned his sister. He was disgusted. Listen to this. I would like to make sure it's understood that although I love my sister very much, she seems pretty unlovable, the things she says or does have absolutely nothing to do with me and do not in any way reflect me, my opinions, thoughts, or feelings, nor speak for me or Too Faced in any way, shape, or form. I've always stood for love, equality, and kindness in my life and everything I do. I am sorry for the hurt she has caused. Let it be known that I am truly shocked and disgusted to my core at her recent actions. He then said that the company have basically like sacked her sister. They're like, you know what? You're doing too much. You're annoying everyone. You're annoying people that don't even like the brand. Where's my mascara? But you know what? It was kind of, they never really mentioned what her previous position was with the company. He then went on to say he doesn't tolerate this behavior, basically, and he's proud of Nikkie. Whether or not you choose to believe that is up to you. Blandino's sister has since changed her Instagram bio, right? Let's be clear, I love trans people and dislike anyone who lies to hurt others. Period. So that whole situation is big enough to put a bad taste in people's mouth. I personally probably wouldn't have planned to purchase from the brand anyway, but I do have to say after all of that, I like extra wasn't buying from the brand, or even talking about them. Let's talk about the brand just like in general and what they appear to be doing right now. The original brand ethos, right, or description was to be disruptive, and innovative. Which, I do have to say that old QVC video I saw was quite exciting. I love QVC anyway. And some of the products they were talking about did look quite good for the time, you know what I mean? It's perhaps something that not a lot of people would have thought about in their makeup, some of these products. But however, I mean, looking at their like latest releases, not latest, but ever since they released that like peach palette, that did incredibly well. Everyone loved it, smelled like peach, it was fun. It was exciting. Peach is a nice smell. Ever since then, though, their brand is a sea of beige and neutrals and oranges and all this same tone. They want it to be shocking and disruptive. Disruptive and shocking to who? Victorian ladies and gentlemen? Like, who are you shocking with these colors? The brand is bland and boring. And perhaps they smell nice. Perhaps they smell like chocolate or peach or whatever. But how are you going to like tease so many palettes and be like, oh, we're so excited for this palette, and releasing the same thing over and over and over again? So listen though, in 2016, Estee Lauder, here they come, Estee Lauder, purchased Tarte for 1.4 billion. Like, I can't, when was this brand ever 2.4 billions worth of excitement? 2.4, where did I get that number from? Billions worth of excitement, and it just isn't. Here's the deal, right? I don't know how Too Faced are still around. They are so horrendously boring. Even their Christmas collection from this year is horrendous. It looks like it's from like a more like classical brand, like Clinique or Clarins, you know what I mean? But yet they do this packaging that looks kind of like fun and exciting, and come out with the world's beigest color palette you've ever seen. To say Too Faced has had like a downfall company-wise probably isn't accurate, but in terms of reputation, yes, they have. They're boring, they're dull, they don't do anything new. There's nothing exciting or new about them. They're actually very incredibly boring. And for a brand who claims to have so many firsts, why didn't you give us another one? Why didn't you give us another one? Why doesn't someone over at Estee Lauder run around a lab and just throw stuff in things and see what happens, you know? I would love to know your opinion on Too Faced. I just don't get it. I know a lot of people use it. And somebody said recently in one of my things, something along the lines of, I don't understand how Too Faced is still around, yet I know people buy them. And I 100% agree. Like, I don't get why they're still around, but I know people support them a lot and people like their products, but they're just boring as fuck. Okay, anyway, that's a little bit of drama. That's a little bit of Too Faced. Let me know what you think of a brand below. Consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know who you want me to make a little mini dive on next, and I will. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon. Bye.